Hey guys, my name is Jamie Sullins, and I am a Superstar Director out of Catoosa, Oklahoma. The purpose of this video is to teach you how to figure your commission check digitally using Microsoft Excel before your magical commissions hit your Scentsy pay card. So a couple things that you should know. There are two other videos that work hand in hand with this one, both on my YouTube channel. The first is understanding the Scentsy compensation plan. I think I uploaded that 2, maybe even 3 years ago, but it is definitely a prerequisite for this video. I cover terminology, vocabulary, how the compensation plan works, all the basics of the compensation plan. It's very important that you watch that video before you go any further here. I also want to let you know I have a video uploaded today as well on figuring your commission check by hand. If you are not spreadsheet savvy, that might be the best video for you because this one is using spreadsheets. I will not teach you the basics of Excel here or sheets or any spreadsheet system. That's not the right word, but you know what I mean. So if you're not familiar with spreadsheets, you should watch the other video on how to do your commission check by hand. But if you're comfortable with spreadsheets, let's continue here. So I'm going to share my screen with you. I have my workstation pulled up right here. And how I got to what I am looking at right now is I went to reporting and then I scrolled down. I did start a downline report. I have decided that I want to look at April 2012. Let me go ahead and hide this out so you can see what it looks like. So April 2012, and then I clicked just run report, and I pulled it up here. I'm doing a super old report because I feel like these numbers aren't really valid to these people anymore. So I don't feel so bad sharing them. So I have that report. Now I need to do two very important things before I actually jump into figuring my commissions. The first is going to additional filter options here. Now, if you are a director or below, the only things you need to look at are level 0 to level 1. Level 0 is you. Level 1 is anyone that is frontline to you. Now, in a second, we're going to talk about if you are a star director or superstar director. I'm hoping that you're a little more comfortable with the comp plan at that point, but perhaps you still don't know how to figure your commission, so we'll talk about that. But level 0 to level 1, that's what we're looking at if you are a director or below. So I just put those two parameters in, and I'm going to click Run Report. And it is going to pull up those people that are just myself or a level 1 to me. Now, a couple other things I want to do. There's a lot of information on this report, and a lot of it is just not useful in me figuring commission. So I want to make this as easy as possible. So I'm going to go right here to choose visible columns. Anything that you see on the left is what is pulling up in your current report. Anything on the right is things that you can add to a report. So perhaps you're looking for other information and maybe you can find it there. But for the sake of this video, really all we want is generation, level, name, title, rank. We can delete out brands. We do want PRV, TWV, GWV. We're really not concerned with any more of this information. So we can take it all out. If it'll cooperate with me here. Okay, so we have what we need. Generation, level, name, title, rank, PRV, TWV, and GWV, and I'm going to click OK. And you see that my report just got a lot more simple. Now I want to do one more step before I export this to Excel and get to work in figuring my commission. And that is, I want to sort all of my downline on their title. By their title. So all I have to do is click title, and it's going to sort from essential all the way down to my highest rank that I have, but I actually want to flip-flop it the other way. So I'm just going to click it one more time. It will put my highest rank at the top and then sort down to my lowest rank. So at this point, I am ready to export my report so we can get to work. So all I have to do is click right here, export to Excel, and it does its magic work. So my screen actually goes blank at this point, but it goes into my downline folder down at the bottom. So I'm going to pull that up so you can see it. Now, one thing I do want to talk about, I mentioned Star Director and Superstar Director and how you want to look at different generations at that point. You'll see on this report right here, I was a Star Director. So I do want to pop in a couple other directors that I had. All you would need to do to make that happen, let me jump back here to show you my workstation. So all I would do at that point, I'm going to go back to additional filter options. I'm going to clear out that level 0 to level 1. Now, if you're a director or below, just ignore this part. You don't even need to watch this part. But I've cleared out all my filters. I want to go over here to titles and I want to unclick everything. And I just want to look at my directors, my star directors, my superstar directors. I'm going to run the report. It's going to pull those up. And then I would export that as well. I've already done it for the sake of time right here. So I'm going to pause the video just for a second, get my screen back to where it's going to be easy for us to work with this Excel and jump right in to figuring our commissions. All right, guys, we are ready to start figuring those commissions. Let's jump right back over to those spreadsheets and look at them. I have my team spreadsheet in the background here, and I have my directors in the foreground. Now you'll see that Autumn, Emily, and I don't know why it deleted, but this was Michelle, are level 1 directors. So they're already on my report up here, but I do need to add in Stephanie and Jessica. So I'm going to highlight them and I'm going to cut them. I am going to go right up here under my directors and I'm going to insert cut cells. So then my level 2 and my level 3 director are in there. Now I want to do a couple things to make this a little bit easier. First of all, I am going to shrink a couple of these columns just so I'm not blocking with my little video up there. And we don't need these to be this big anyway. Again, this is not a basics of Excel. If you're not familiar with Excel, I might jump through things a little quickly. Just bear with me. You can go back, rewatch this video, maybe do a tutorial on Excel. The first thing I like to do, because it just reminds me what is important for me to look at, is for me at the very top, I take the column where it says my rank and I highlight that. I can highlight it in any color. That's probably a little too dark for you guys to see. But just so I know that is the important column for me to look at. When figuring commissions, you want to look at your personal rank, but then what I'm going to do is on all my downline, I am going to take that title column, and that is the rank, or that is the important column that I'm going to look at for them. So for all of my downline, I'm going to look at their title. Super, super important. Now, one other thing that you're going to need to be able to figure this report is the Scentsy compensation plan. So let's see if we can pull it up a little bit bigger for you guys here. Now, you can find this in the back of any catalog. Hopefully you already know that, but just to let you know, this is something that we're going to spend a lot of time looking at right here to be able to figure commissions. So what you want to look at is your rank at the top. Again, not your title, but your rank for that month. This is what you will be looking at to figure commissions is your rank from up here at the top. Then you're going to find your column. Obviously, I was a rank of star director in April 2012. So these blue numbers right here are the important numbers that I am going to look at. The first thing I want to do is just look at what I'm going to make for myself. So commission from PRV, 25%, and bonus from personal wholesale volume, 9%. So let's jump over to Excel. Let's look at that. Guys, I'm going to go ahead and actually delete out this GWV because really, since I already know what rank I got, I don't even need to look at GWV. TWV is the important thing we're going to be looking at here. So what I want to do is figure all my commission amounts over in this H column right here. So the very first thing I want to do is look at my base commission. Now, it said that I'm going to make 25% base commission, but guys, I don't know if you know this, but any month that you sell 2,000 PRV or more, you make a bonus 5%. So actually, I'm not making 25% base commission. I'm making 30% commission. So what I'm going to do is put in my formula here that I need to figure for my base commissions. So that is the equal sign. And then I want this right here, which is F2. And then I'm going to do the multiplication sign and 30%. Oh, that's what I figured. Guys, it's really easier for me. I don't work with the percentage sign. I do that to try and make it easier for some people, but I'm just going to do 0.30. Basic math. I was a math teacher at one time. If you don't know how to figure a percentage to a decimal, Google it. 30% is 0.30. So I'm going to do, oh, I know what it is. It's because I did that at sign instead of 2. So F2 times 0.30. And there is my base commission from what I did right here. Now, here is the trickiest formula of all of them. The trickiest one of all of them. And that is to figure your bonus off of your wholesale volume, because the first thing you need to do is figure your wholesale volume. That formula is going to be an equal sign, and then you need to do a parentheses. You're going to do F2, and then you're going to do that multiplication sign. Wholesale volume is 75% of retail volume. So I do 0.75, and then I'm going to close up that parentheses. So it's going to figure that first, and I want that number to be multiplied. Again, I did the multiplication sign times 0.09. That's 9%. And then I'm going to hit return. So notice it's given me like these crazy long numbers because it doesn't know I'm figuring money here. So I can go to the H column, right click, go to Format Cells, and I'm going to tell it that we're doing currency. It will know to do it to just 2 decimal points, and it's going to give me that dollar sign. So I'll just do OK. So it jumps it over to money, money, money. Okay, guys, now it's time to look at downline. Here is why an Excel spreadsheet is way, way easier, because I can group people together. When I jump over here and look at my commission chart, again, I'm a star director. I'm looking down here at frontline director or first generation director, team wholesale bonus. All of my first generation directors are all going to make me 3%. I can see that right there. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to look at all my first generation directors. I have 3 of them here. So I'm going to go in, I'm going to insert a blank row there. And then I want to look at their team wholesale. Now, just for my own knowledge, I give it a highlight because I know this is a number that I'm going to come up with. So what I'm going to do here is I am going to figure a sum. So I want to go up to formulas and I want to click auto sum. Now, it's going to auto-populate mine into that. I don't want mine figured into that. I just want my first generation directors. So I'm going to highlight those 3 squares. I'm going to click return. I know that that is the number, the sum of all of their TWVs together. So then I can jump over here to my column that tells me how much money I'm going to make. I'm going to put in my formula, equal sign. Now I'm looking at G6. And I want to multiply that number by 3%, which is 0.03. So off of all of my first generation directors, I made almost $800. We are going to skip level 2s and 3s. We'll come to it at the very end because I'm teaching you directors and below first. So if you're a director and below, you're not going to make money off of them. Because if you come over here, you don't have any director bonuses here because this is where we're looking. So we're going to skip them right now. I'm going to come here. I'm looking at title, star director. So I want to group all my star directors here. You see them listed here as star director. So I want to go right underneath my last star director and I'm going to insert another one of those blank rows just like I did above. Jump over here. Again, I want to highlight it to remind myself this is a figure that I've done. I am looking at a sum, so I'm going to click formula, auto sum. Now it has assumed that I don't want to add in the sum I figured before, so it has automatically chosen these. But remember, we skipped these 2 right here. So I'm going to tell it what rows I want it to look at and then click return. It's going to add those all up. If I jump over to my compensation chart, notice I'm looking at star consultants. I didn't even have any superstar consultants, so we completely skipped that. Completely skipped superstar consultants. I'm a star director and I am looking at my star consultants here. So 5% is what I'm making off of those people. So I'm jump over here, equals, I'm looking at the number in G15 times 0.05. It tells me what I've made off of those people. Let's follow it again. I want to look where this line breaks between the titles. Insert an empty row. Highlight my color. Just going back to home here. Give it a highlight so I know it's something I'm doing. Tell it I want to do a formula. I want to do an auto sum. Again, I'm checking again. Is that really everything I want to add up? Yes, it is. So I'll just click return. Jump over to the right. It's time to figure how much money I made off of them. So I'm going to click equal sign G24 times. We need to go back to the compensation chart, figure out how much I'm making. These are lead consultants. I'm a star director. I'm going to go down here. Frontline lead consultant. I can see 7% is the amount I'm going to make. Jump back to my spreadsheet. That number times 0.07. We've got it there. Now, certified and essentials. I keep them lumped all together because if I come back to the compensation chart, I look at star directors, I know that my essentials and my certifieds, I'm making 9% off of both of those, so I don't sort them out. I just keep them all lumped in together, but I do still give myself that yellow highlight just to let myself know I'm figuring my own number there. Formula, auto sum. I just want to check and make sure that it knows what it's looking at. It does. So I'll click return. Come over to the right. Again, I'm making 9%. Equal sign. G73 is what I'm looking at. Multiplication sign, 0.09. So off of just my essentials and certifieds, I made almost $800 there as well. Now, for star directors and superstar directors, let's jump back up here and look at this. just to sort them out. I'm going to make them a special color. I like to look at colors. Can you tell that? It works for my brain. It works for my brain to know that they're different. So coming back to compensation plan, I am a star director. Second generation director, I'm going to make 4% off of. So if I look here, Stephanie was my second generation director. So I'm going to make 4% off of her team wholesale volume equals, I'm looking at G7 times 0.04, tells me how much I made off of her. Jessica is a third generation director. I come to the compensation chart. Star director, third generation director. Ooh, it's a big fat nothing. I'm not going to make anything off of her because I was not a high enough rank to make money off of a third generation director. Now, I want you to notice, if you are a superstar consultant and you have a downline superstar consultant, that box is blank. You will make nothing until you reach director status. If someone of your frontline is of the same title that you are rank, you will not get paid off of it. So jumping back here, Jessica, I made 0 off of her. 0 until I promote to superstar director. Now guys, this is the most fun of this whole thing. I scoot on down to the bottom. I'm going to make a green box down here. And then I'm going to click formula. Sorry guys, you might have detected a little clip in there. My screen share system only allows me so much time, so I get to splice videos together. So jumping back in, I have taken that square right under the very bottom number. I've highlighted it green because this is where I'm going to figure my commission check. This is the fun part. I click that box. I go back to auto sum. I scroll all the way up to the top and I highlight that entire column where we figured all those dollar amounts for the different levels of pay. And this is where you need to insert your drum roll, because as soon as I hit return, I am going to have a rough figure of what my commission will be. So here we go. $3,653.70. Now I want to see just how close I was. So I'm going to jump back over to my workstation, look at my commission history for April 2012, and see how close we were. So I jump back to my workstation. I've already pre-set it up here. I am looking at my April 2012. If you don't know where this is, it's under reporting. Then you scroll all the way down and you click commissions history, and then you tell it what month you want to look at. $3,654.23. My figure was $3,653.70. So I'm less than $1 difference there. I'm usually $1 or $2. My guess it's because of rounding up or rounding down, different things like that. What I love about the commission history tab is I can tell how much of my commission is from me and how much is from my downline. So I can see here that what I made off of my PRV, what I made off my bonus wholesale. Now this over here, the monthly sales, that is that 5% bonus from hitting 2,000 PRV, over 2,000 PRV. And then I can even see what I made off of my frontline and what I made off of my directors underneath me. So it does a great breakdown. I can see where I'm making the most of my money, which can help me know where I should spend a lot of time in working my business more, or working with my team more, or working with my directors more. So it's an easy breakdown there. Hopefully this was helpful to you. I know that I went through that very fast, but that's the beauty of a YouTube video. I would encourage you to pull up this video on your phone while maybe you work the numbers on your computer, or just toggle back and forth and pause the video here and there so you can figure your commissions. If you follow the steps here, if you just follow the commission chart, you will be able to figure your commissions before they actually run within $1 or $2 of what they will be. So hopefully this was helpful. I am going to include the income disclosure statement at the end of this to let you know that not everyone makes that kind of money, but if you're willing to hustle and work your booty off, it's definitely possible. Now, I also want to remind you that this was my paycheck 8 years ago. As with most jobs, paychecks increase if you continue to work hard. So, like I said, income disclosure statement is going to be added at the end. Results are not typical. But if you're willing to work your booty off, these can be your results too. All right, guys. Hope you have a sensational day.